This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
If you love chilling mysteries, unsolved cases, and a touch of mom-style humor, Moms and Mysteries is the podcast you've been searching for. Hey guys, I'm Mandy.
And I'm Melissa. Join us every Tuesday for Moms and Mysteries, your gateway to gripping, well-researched true crime stories. Each week, we deep dive into a variety of mind-boggling cases as we shed light on everything from heists to whodunits. We're your go-to podcast for mysteries with a motherly touch. Subscribe now to Moms and Mysteries wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to Story Smash, the storytelling game show. Please welcome the creator and host of Story Smash, Christine Blackburn!
Storytelling game show. My name is Christine Blackburn. Holy cow, do we have an amazing game plan for you guys tonight. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Give yourselves a round of applause for coming out. Reveal the Wheel of Truth. There are 12 permanent topics on the wheel. Topics like vacation, drunk tank, breaking up, and hooking up. Our contestants will spin the wheel, come up, and tell a true 1-minute story on the topic they land. And then our judges will go ahead and let them know what they thought of the story. And speaking of judges, let's get to them right away. Here we go, Ian. Our first judge, you guys, is a writer who wrote on the Emmy Award-winning Modern Family for its entire 11-year run. Also wrote the book I hold in my right hand. He started it, My Twitter War with Donald Trump. This guy has won 5 Emmys and he'll never let us forget it. Danny Zucker! With close to 500,000 followers. She's the author of Annie, Humor, Heart, and Chutzpah from an Accidental Influence.
Chutzpah!
Shut the fuck up!
Fucking hate crime!
Shut the fuck up! Guys, this woman played the recurring character of Doris Clumpus on Seinfeld, and she's written humorous essays for the New York Times, the LA Times, and many more. She's a Moth main stage storyteller, and she's been interviewed by Oprah Winfrey, Mario Lopez, and Dr. Phil. What?
What, Mario Lopez?
Please welcome Annie Corson! Alright, you guys, our final judge of the show is a comedian and a writer and a broadcaster for the LA Derby Dolls. He also does stand-up comedy all over town, and you can hear him on the Nerd Poker Podcast. Please welcome Blanca Patch! Here he is! Wow! How exciting! Well. We're so happy you're back, you guys. Welcome to the new year. What's interesting is these three have played together before at the Improv. Do you remember that, Danny?
I don't remember anything, but yes, I do remember.
You do remember, because Annie, use the microphone. You've played before. Do you remember?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and you're a very good critiquer.
No, I'm terrible at this. Now, I'm here to represent the next gender. I am the oldest person in the room, right?
It's such a relief to have you here.
I won't know anything. I won't understand anything. But I have some wisdom, and I hope I can share it with you.
You do. Annie is like,
America is over now.
you guys, check it out. We are playing 3 rounds of the game tonight. Now, the first round, the contestant comes up to the stage, spins the wheel, and tells a true 1-minute story. 1 minute, okay? The second round, Danny, what happens?
Another minute.
No, yeah,
Oh, 2 minutes.
2 minutes total.
2
And
minutes.
do you think that's easier or harder?
I think.
Oh, she was asking me, Danny.
I know. I'm sorry. It's all about me.
I think it's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other.
I don't know what that means.
1 minute can be rough, and 2 minutes can be rough as well. But they can both be a lot of fun, and I think that's what we're in for tonight. A lot of fun.
Like that, yeah, okay.
I'd like to badge, and I approve this message.
Now this is important. The contestants are responsible for their own time, so please keep your eyes on that clock right over there. Because if you go over your time, you're going to hear this.
My car!
It's so exciting. If you hear that sound, your story's over. We go right to the judges. So please mind your time. Also, we want to remind everybody that the judges are judging in 3 categories. Did you know that?
I do now. I thought
You've been playing this game like 10 years.
I thought it was swimsuit,
Yeah,
mathematics,
that's right.
zoological knowledge, potables,
That's right. And knowledge of the cosmos.
knowledge of the cosmos,
Okay.
and Carl Sagan nude photos.
Okay, you are judging on the ability to stay on the topic. And then the actual time. And I'll always call out the time so you know, because if they go over or way under, that's trouble.
Big trouble.
And then you're also judging on the story itself. You know what I'm saying? The middle, the beginning, maybe the end.
The arc.
The arc of the story.
I've heard that expression.
I haven't heard that. Write that down.
Story arc.
All right. Are there any questions?
Yes.
What is your question?
Did I miss a chance to put my name in that to get called?
Well. Jim Coughlin, come on over and give this young person.
It's too late.
It's too late. I'm being told.
Now,
it's
what's
too
your
late.
name?
Denny, like the restaurant?
Denny's
Great.
like the restaurant.
I'll throw your name in.
Well, that's exciting. We'll
Have you met
definitely
Norm like the restaurant?
put your name in the Story Smash Can of Truth because you know there is an audience member playing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Just
It
making
may
sure.
or may not be Denny. It could be Fun Trucker.
That's right. That's right.
They went out of business a couple of years ago.
Are you a Fun Trucking game?
I'm not foot rushing.
All right, you guys. Well, I say we get started. I'm going to reach my hand into the Story Smash Can of Truth and pull out our first contestant. We'll have a little music with this if we could, Ian. It's very exciting. This contestant, you guys, she is originally from St. Louis, Missouri, but considers LA her real home. She's a stand-up comedian and an actress and an accomplished filmmaker. Accomplished, you say? She co-hosts, produces, and performs her own show called The Fun Zone with the amazing and hilarious Abby Shackner to my left. It's every month at the Glendale Room in Glendale. Please welcome the very talented Debbie Bradshaw. All right, you guys, let's tell Debbie what to do.
It's been brought to you by Extra Long Q-Tips. Get in there with Extra Long Q-Tips.
Very exciting. Now, when you're ready to start, we'll start the clock. So take your time, gather your thoughts.
I was in is this on? Okay. Hello?
Yeah,
Yes, great. I was in college. It's not on?
We can hear you. Use that one.
Okay, good. I was in
Take the cord and push it into the mic a little more.
What?
The cord on the bottom, push it into the mic a little more.
And that's your time.
We're going to go straight to the judges. Okay, Danny Zucker at the mic. Ian
Davey
is
Squad.
with us.
Hello.
Yeah. That's good.
It's a fun mic.
It's interesting.
Here, why don't you take
What a gentleman, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, let's talk about compassion.
I have to take voice off for this.
That's Whenever you're ready, Debbie.
Okay. All right. I was in college and I was in a play called well, I can't remember the play, but it was a great play, and we were all getting together, and it was a Polish guy who directed it, and we were all going out that night, and we were all going out to a restaurant after our first performance. And the Polish people loved our performance. 6 characters in search of an author. Woo! And the Polish people loved us so much, and they were saying to me, "Oh, Debbie, you're going to be so famous." This terrible accent. And then the other guy was like, the guy who was playing my I don't know who he was, but he was like, oh boy, and oh no, there was another guy in the play, and we kind of had a crush on each other. And then after the play, we were on the L, and I was with my husband at the time. My boyfriend, my husband, and then we started making out. We started making out on the L train because we were just so in love, and but we weren't.
Debbie Bradshaw, let her hear it. That was great. A really good story. What a great beginning, Danny Zuger.
Well, so easy to follow. Wait, your husband was on the train while you were making out with somebody else? Or this guy became your husband?
He's my husband now, but he was my boyfriend at the time.
Oh.
And that was who you hooked up with? That's the hooking up thing from the play?
Sorry,
Tie those together for me.
Oh my God. Okay, so the guy in the play was a guy that he was just in the play, and we had a thing for each other during the play. And so after all the Polish people were getting so excited about our performance, the whole spirit took over. And, we thought we were going to be like Academy Award stuff. We were like, we were all rocked up from the Polish people telling us how great we were. And then we just started making out on the train on the way back.
And that guy he became your husband, or
No.
Where's your
My husband was at my apartment later. He was very mad that I was home late, and then we almost broke up, but I didn't even tell him about that.
I'm sorry, it's as clear as day.
Great story.
I give you 1,000 points.
Thank you.
And then that's for the story. For staying on time, I give you 1,000,000, so 1,000,000 to 1,000 points.
That's a lot of points. Annie Korzen.
I think you know something. I'm not going to judge. You had a spontaneous moment, an erotic adventure. I celebrate you for that.
I think that was an erotic misadventure. You really got my hopes up with the word Polish. I thought you were going to go right to the Blanche Not joke book. But I think we all know a very important lesson from those joke books. Blanche not, lest ye be blanched.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
It'll all be in the newsletter. I give you 1,001 points.
That's
wow.
Debbie Bradshaw, let her hear it. Debbie Bradshaw. Wow. That is exciting, for sure. All right, so let's figure out how
I still might like when they come up.
You think so?
I mean, let's
all
get that fixed.
Well, maybe during the intermission we can fix it.
Is this working? No.
Any thoughts, Ian?
It wasn't.
I'll fix it at the intermission.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, his mic works. Well,
Yeah, right? His mic works perfect, the man in the sky. Okay, you guys, my hand is back in the Sorry Smash can of truth, and I'm ready to bring up the next person. Come to the stage. All right, you guys, this guy, he is a Los Angeles-based musician and a stand-up comedian. When he's not performing, recording music, or in jail, he spends his time nursing feral kittens and getting them adopted. Please welcome the very talented C.M. Gorham. Let's tell him what to do.
it's been brought to you by Kellogg's Ant Brand. 2 scoops of ants.
Vacation.
Kellogg's Ant Brand.
When I was a young boy, my grandparents used to take me up to their little log cabin that was on a lake, way, way up in the woods of Maine. And they used to take my cousin and I. My cousin was about the same age, probably like 4, 5, 6, 7, around that time. And my grandparents hated each other. And they were constantly in arguments. And I remember, I was like about 5 years old, they had been arguing on their way to this little tiny market that was in the one little populated area. It was a tiny little market on a hill. And as we got there, arguing the entire time, my grandfather got out of the car, he parked on the hill, slammed the door shut, and went off into the market to get whatever they needed to get. And he forgot to put the parking brake on, and the car started to go backwards. And as my cousin and I started to cry, my grandmother said, "Nope, he's going to see what he did."
That's an amazing story. Andy Corson, what did you think?
You know, I had trouble concentrating in the beginning because when I hear that somebody's name is 2 initials, I always try to figure out what the I heard CM, and I kept the only thing I can think of was Charles Manson. But I have to say, I kind of hate you. I kind of hate you. I kind of hated that story because I thought it was brilliant, and I'm kind of jealous.
That's so
I
sweet.
say I'm a nice person.
Blaine Capatch.
Oh, first of all, I love you in Creed.
I'm gonna cut my hair when I leave here.
Are you gonna go to Rudy's, or are you gonna go to a Fellow Barber? Fellow Barber's pretty good.
Okay, I'll go there. It's been a while.
Yeah, I feel bad for you with your long, lustrous locks. Yeah. One thing guys are always telling me is, you should try Rogaine, you should try Rogaine, you should try Rogaine. You know who's always telling me to try Rogaine? Bald guys. So maybe I hate you too, CM. Charles Manson, if that is indeed your real name. I thought that was cool. Did you guys make it to the bottom of the hill safely?
At the last second, my grandmother pulled the emergency brake up.
Wow, okay, so she was on it.
She was.
Were they together? Are they still around, your grandparents?
No, at the end, we had to separate them because my grandfather started getting into guns and he was threatening to kill everyone.
Jesus fuck!
Buried the lead.
So, are they alive, your grandparents?
They're very much dead.
Very much dead. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a very good thing.
They're still dead. They're still
All right.
I'm gonna get. That was a great story. I'm glad you guys are safe. 1,002 points.
As a reminder, there are no points in this game.
I beg to differ, Christine. There are 1,002 points.
Danny Zucker.
Well, Chris Martin. Worse than Charles Manson, in my opinion. No. Fantastic story. I had horrible grandparents. This is like my grandparents on my father's side always fighting. In fact, I'll tell you a little. I learned about this. So it was a fight where my grandfather was trying to not drink anymore, and she kept offering him wine. She's like, "Well, don't be such an alcoholic." And to which he said, "I'm not the one with genital herpes." And so when I was 7, I learned that my grandmother came to her marriage with genital herpes. And so that was kind of cool. So and yes, well, my grandfather, he didn't get guns, but he tried to kill himself numerous times before he succeeded. And then, yeah, so a happy ending to the story. Tanny, why'd you go into comedy? I don't know. But a great story, get him in the land, funny ending. I loved especially your wind up into it, here we go. So that was good. 7 million points.
That's a lot of points. CM4, let him hear it. Wow, I like it. All right, you guys, there's one more contestant, and then there's another person in here who's our audience member. Is that it? No, it is not it, but I have another fantastic contestant coming up for you guys right now. This guy is a comedian and a bodybuilder, and he finds himself all over town working out and on stage. Please welcome the very talented Mike Pye.
It's been brought to you by AB Negative Blood.
She was concerned I was going to overspin.
Step up into the AB world with AB negative blood.
Drunk tank.
Drunk tank. I've been in a self-induced drunk tank.
Okay.
One time I'm at the University of Delaware with a friend visiting another of his friends, and we go to a party, and there's beer, there's shots flowing. I get completely obliterated. I'm an extremist. I'm either not drinking or I'm drinking. This night I was drinking. So I'm not feeling great because I've overdone it, and I begin to feel sick, and I crouch down behind the couch at this random person's house party, and I throw up behind the couch. I pop up, still not feeling good, so I decide to go outside. Go outside, I sit down on the back step, and I fall asleep. I wake up 2 hours later, and everyone is gone from the party. I've been asleep for 2 hours in the winter, in the snow, in a t-shirt and jeans in Delaware.
Oh.
And I survived. So that was my drunk tank.
All right. 58 seconds. I thought it was a great story, beginning, middle, end, blank a batch.
I'd say you look like you're drunk and a tank. That's pretty much all I got. I've thrown up in Delaware a few times. You really can't help it. It's just you get caught up in it. What were you drinking?
It was tequila shots
Okay.
and just Natty Ice cheap beer.
Okay, Natty Bows. You drinking some Natty Bows, hon? That's National Bohemians if you're not from Baltimore. Natty Bows. Go have some Natty Bows. Go down the ocean. That was fantastic. It makes me want to throw up behind the couch. By the way, if you get evicted, a fun thing to do behind the couch is sew some shrimp into the curtains. Yeah, there you go. It's all in the book. 1,003 points. Great job.
All right, Danny.
I have one important question about this. Bro, do you even lift? That would be the first question. I thought it was a good story. I also was drunk in Delaware. I have a story that's real. Here's a quick version of it. I went to visit a friend at U of D. Actually, Chris Christie's younger brother. We went to school together. And I went to school to Christie's. But Todd Christie was there, and we got really hammered, and there was like a hot tub outside. And he was in one of these apartment buildings that had the hot tub, and like you walk in, it basically had two entrances, one from the back, one from the front. If you come out, if you're going from the back, you want to go up the stairs and right, first one on the left. Obviously the opposite if you're coming through the other side. So our clothes just get trashed. I basically carrying my clothes. I'm just racing to get in there, pretty much naked. I run up the stairs. I've gone the wrong way. I walk into an apartment, get into the refrigerator to find a family of three on the couch, and I was so fucked up and I broke afterwards. That was my drunk tank, but I make it all about me. Great story. Seems like a nice guy. Don't hurt me.
What was in the fridge? What was
I was going there to get like something like a soda or something.
Like or a sandwich?
Anything. I was just like I was so fucked up. I thought so. I was going into what I thought was Todd's fridge, but it wasn't. It was his family's fridge.
Todd's fridge would have been a lot better.
Oh yeah, I would have shown my penis to let's drink.
Yeah.
It's all in the book. Todd's fridge.
Annie Corzin.
Well, again, I was kind of distracted. It's very hard. I have some focus issues because I was trying to listen to your story, but I kept trying to picture you with your shirt on.
Wow, okay.
I think that I'm not inviting you to my house anytime soon because what I didn't understand was you went to the couch, behind the couch to puke, and then you decided to go outside. I would have thought you would have reversed that. You should have gone outside and then come and lie down behind it. I think you got it a little wrong there.
All right, Mike Pye, let him hear it. Wow, listen to the cheer for Mike Pye. That was a lot of people cheering. All right, well, I already know what's going to be in the story smashing and truth.
Denny's.
It is our audience member,
Denny's.
Coughlin. Did you get the friend in over here?
I put her name in.
Okay, great. That name is
Denny's, this thing is rigged.
Danny Zucker is going to call out the name. And you guys remember, this is not easy to do, so we're going to give this person a lot of love.
The name is G.D. Wright. Is that for your goddamn right? Is that what we're...
GD right. GD right.
GD right.
Tell them what to do.
Spin that wheel.
Yeah, it's a knife.
This has been brought to you by Crazy Glue Band-Aids. They're not going anywhere. Crazy Glue Band-Aids.
Birthdays. We've had those.
So I'm gonna need a second for that one.
How many birthdays do you think he's had, Danny?
I would say 44.
I say
Take the over.
89.
At least 5.
At least 5.
You got this, kid.
Oh, are you
All right.
ready? Okay, he's ready.
Give me 1 second. Let me.
Give him some more applause. Come on.
I saw mom on there and I had huge mommy issues. So this is about my mom's birthday. 1 year, I was the third of 6 kids, right? And my mom really wanted girls. I was the third boy in a row. And so I had problems connecting with her. And also, I was very selfish growing up. And so 1 year, I had given my dad a really good gift for Christmas, which was like a little booklet of little things I do for him, like take out the trash or wash the toilet or something like that. And so it came to my mom's birthday, and I panicked and I said, "Dad, can I borrow that booklet?" And I gave it to my mom as her gift at the last minute, and she looked at it and said, "No, you can't do that," and gave it back to me to return to my dad.
Did you get beat?
Many times.
Thank you very much. All right, that was a great story. He just came up with that on the fly. It's not easy to do, but he took it.
Yeah, there was a high wire act. You know, we're all sitting there. It's, when you're watching a performer who's like new to the tightrope, and it was like, oh, they're gonna fall, and you didn't fall. I mean, you didn't kill it, but it was still. We got a nice ending. I just on Monday, I turned 61.
Oh,
Nice.
People are always surprised when I tell them my age, but never like in the good way. Like I want to hear like, oh, you just turned 61, but I tend to hear, you just turned 61. Which is kind of a drag, but you look great. It was a fun story. That's hard to do. I felt your pain. You delivered. You were poised. I think you probably tell stories in your life in some other way. Am I wrong? Are you a performer?
I'm starting to tell stories.
I can tell that you're not like just like some, accountant. No offense if we have accountants here. You're great.
I do finance.
Oh, well, that explains why it wasn't funny.
Stop digging.
I'm gonna give you like 10,000 points.
that's a lot of points. Annie Corzin.
Well, I thought you were sweet. I complimented you. I think birthdays are difficult. When I turned 70, we had a big party, and there were speeches, and my husband's not too good at that kind of thing, so I wrote a speech for him. But then we came to the party, and he came up to me and said, "You know something? I don't think I can say this. Could you say it?" I said, "Sure." So I got up at my birthday, my 70th birthday, and I said, "Annie makes my life worth living." Whatever works, right?
It's true. You make your life work.
But you liked his story? You liked it?
I did. It was sweet.
You have mommy issues too?
I have every issue.
All right, Blaine.
Mom wanted all girls. That'd be a pretty cool movie if you ask me. Here's my question. What was your dad's reaction to getting the coupon back after it was yoinked from him and then returned so obviously?
I think at this point, like, I look at my parents and I think they were just being, just doing their, I don't think he cared. Like,
Okay.
it's a shitty thing. I don't remember them ever using a single coupon.
Okay, so you never washed the toilet in your house? Is what
No,
you're
we
saying.
did. We had a chore wheel that we just were forced to do it, so they didn't really need to use it. I don't know what the point of this was.
Okay. Did you ever throw up behind a couch?
I had a really good drunk story about passing out in a hotel room, in Marbella.
Might come up in the second one, but if it doesn't, you're going to tell it anyway.
All right, have a seat. Thank you. Have a seat. What is his name again?
GD Right.
GD.
GD Right. GD I like it. I like it. I thought it might have been Darwin. Okay, 4 names go back in the Story Smash Can of Truth. By the way, did I mention what the prize is tonight? Yeah. Did I mention? Well, guess what? The winner gets the brand new Story Smash Hat of Truth. First of all, they get a brand new hat, and then they get my homemade chocolate chip cookies. That's right. And for anybody out there who would like, you can buy a hat yourself. Makes a fine gift. Only $20 at the intermission and at the end of the show. You can also spin the little tiny swag wheel of truth, right? And then you might win a prize. I don't know. Anything could happen.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's it. All the names are back in. This is double the fun. Here we go. First
round 2.
Coming up and tell the truth. By the way, did I tell you that we do fact check all the stories? Okay, make sure. All right, you guys come to the stage right now. Put your hands together for CM Gorham.
Oh.
CM, let's get one of you.
It's been brought to you by Skittles Italiano, Romano, Pesto, Calamari, Bolognese, and Original Lime.
The taste of the rainbow, Skittles Italiano.
Holidays.
Tom.
Since I've been living in Los Angeles, I've had a few jobs that I hope my mother will never find out about. And one of them that I do, pays a lot of money. Los Angeles is really, really expensive. But I test out drugs before they are or usually are not passed by the FDA. And it's terrifying. But rent's really expensive, and it'll pay your rent for 4 days. You can pay your rent for 7 months. So it's really great. Come out, find me after this, and I will let you know about this. But sometimes you do drugs that the reaction isn't so great, and you're supposed to report any sort. If you have a bad dream, you let them know. That way they know if they pass this thing, the side effects might be bad dreams. Anything at all. One day, I was taking a shower. This is maybe my 3rd day taking an oral medication for the lungs. I don't know, it's supposed to help the lungs in some way. Taking a shower, and I'm drying off, and on one side of my testicles, I found this giant white blister. And I didn't want to tell the nurses about that. Get back to my bedroom, I look again, and there are a few more, and they're huge. I'm thinking, this is a lung pill. Why would it make giant blisters on my testicles? And then my testicles started to take a shape that testicles are not supposed to have. So I think, I'm going to have to tell someone. So the nurse comes back in, and when I tell her I've already got these blisters all over my armpits, I can feel them starting to form in other places. And so every hour they have to have nurses come in with their own phones for some reason. They had to take pictures of the progression of this rash. And it happened to fall on a holiday weekend. It was the 4th of July, so they couldn't contact the drug manufacturers to see if it was okay to give me something to help with this allergic reaction. And I kept taking the pills, and when I left, I had a lot of money, but I had Freddy Krueger skin.
Whoa, Stan Gorham! Look at the time, exactly 2 minutes. Amy and Bella and Annie Corson, what did you think?
I think that's amazing. It's scary. So scary. That's like the kind of horror movie that I refuse to see. I mean, gee, and you were so brave, and you kept it. It's amazing. You know, when we need money, we just do things. But that's really amazing. I still can't get over that. So did you keep doing it? Did you go on and do other do other tests?
Oh, I still do. And that was years ago. I'm still going. The money is so good.
He's 24 years old.
This is incredible. You know, I'll tell you one thing, besides it being scary, what got me about this story, I like stories that take you into a world you don't know about.
Yeah.
And that is not a world I know about. And I applaud you for that. I applaud you for that. You took us to a place that none of us have been to. And I'm sure none of us plan to go to. So
Annie, he's married, just so you know. And you're married, for that matter. Blake Patch.
I was taking a drug once and had caused these huge blisters on my testicles, and it turned out that was just my testicles. We'll edit that one out. You said that it made your testicles a strange shape. Was it like a cube? Like wombat poop or something? What shape did your testicles turn into?
Why are you so interested?
Because I'm on these weird drugs that make my dick fall off, and I wanted to see if there's a connection.
If you think of testicles to be like this, whoa. Think of the way a football is shaped.
Oh, yikes. Okay. That's cool. Have you seen The Substance? I had an operation, I had a prostate operation, and they said, you might get a little testicle swelling when this is over, so just put some ice on it, whatever. I forgot all about it. When I was at home, I was recuperating for like a week, just sitting on the couch with my wife watching Mad Men. I was catching up on that, and the cat was in my lap, and it was really like cutting off the circulation to my legs. I was like, oh my God, I gotta get this cat off my... Oh my God, my cat's been dead for 5 years. It was my giant eggplant-sized testicles. They were purple, and my wife said, can I see it? And I said, no, you'll scream and never have sex with me again. And a month later, the swelling had gone down. A month later. And I let her look at it, and she screamed that she hasn't had sex with me.
Wow.
Anyway, that was great. My side effects include 1,005 points.
All right, let's hear it. All right, Danny Zucker.
Were there any negative side effects to this? Honestly, you're a good storyteller. I agree with Annie. You took me to a whole other world. I had a similar thing, and it does attack the soft tissue. I was going to Africa, maybe like 25 years ago, and you have to take all these shots. And I discovered that, I can't have shellfish because my lips swelled up. I had this allergic reaction to shellfish. So I'm on the flight to Nairobi, and I'm eating this little salad, and I noticed there's little tiny shrimp in it. I'm gonna be fine. And I now have discomfort in my pants, and mine manifested my wiener. It looked like it swallowed a frisbee in the middle. It was just like this, and it was like whoa. It was like, and I'm going to Africa with this, and so I took 9 Benadryl, and it did go down, but it was horrible. And so on the best of days, mine's not the most photogenic. So, I don't know, you took me on a journey, we can all relate. 9
We
million
can all
points.
relate, can't we? Yes, we really can. Sam Forum, let's hear it.
Maybe your penis look like one of those discs on a rope that keeps rats.
It was exactly that.
Okay.
Yeah.
This has
like
been
an
Gold
egg
Talk.
snake.
All right, you guys come to the stage right now for a true 2-minute story. Is our audience member,
Oh, here we go.
G.D. Wright.
The G.D. Wright.
Karen, what do you?
Yeah.
It's been brought to you by car alarms. Letting you know a motorcycle went by. Car alarms.
Ooh, hooking up. Hooking up.
With your mom.
Don't take those blister pills.
You got this.
Okay, so I moved to London when I was 29, and I had sex exactly 10 times. Not with 10 women, 10 times. So I was Mormon until I was 27, so I lost my virginity when I was 29. And the best part of going to London was I went from being an LA 4 to being a London 8, overnight, right? And so it's all of a sudden I had attention and options for the first time. And I was leaving religion, and so it was just sort of also experimenting with drugs and alcohol. And there was one week when I'd been there for about 5 years, and so I had a lot of relationships. And in 1 week, in 10 days, 7 women in my life sort of came back to me. But I was really interested in one woman at the office. And so, in the middle of sort of managing all these other hookups with these women that I've connected with, like ex-girlfriends calling me, people that I'd hooked up with just coming out of the blue. This one that I'd really been trying to hook up with, like we had a date and she wants to go back to my place. And so we go back there and I go down on her and it's very, very fragrant. And so I knew I had another date later in the evening, and so after that I had to rush to the laundromat, wash all the sheets, rush back, and then this is not going to end well, I can tell. I've lost her. And I really liked her, and I was like, someone was asking me in the office, they heard about it, I was like, oh yeah, we hooked up. And I was just like, yeah, but it's a little bit, I don't know, we didn't have a good fit, chemistry-wise. And so we stopped dating, and then like 6 months later, through a mutual friend, I found out, no, she just like caught an infection and felt really bad about it, so we never talked about it again.
All right, Jeannie Wright.
I did not have a punchline I was hoping for.
Wow, Jeannie Wright. That was something else. Blank.
Something else. Fragrant, you mean like freesia? Or lavender? Or like sandalwood kind of?
Pamplemousse? Yeah.
Pamplemousse? Oh, okay. You were warm until you were 27.
Correct.
And no drugs and alcohol. Now's the time to tell that alcohol story.
Oh. I mean, I'm one of those women, right when I was getting super depressed, I knocked her up. And it was like when I was planning to move home,
So romantic.
she got pregnant, and we had broken up multiple times. She knew I didn't want to have kids.
Because of the fragrance?
No, the different woman.
Okay.
And so, so I went to Marbella with a friend for a birthday weekend. It was 3 months before I was about to move back. And my ex kept telling me that she was having this baby. Unbeknownst to me, she had had an abortion 3 weeks earlier, but she just kept telling me that she was going to have the baby just to fuck with me. And so I was in Marbella for a friend's birthday at the same weekend as my birthday. We go out the night before my birthday, and this woman like knows people in Marbella. We end up at Casa Al Riyadh, like the Saudi royal family, at one of the princesses' house. I apparently break a wooden bench that was gifted to her by Elton John. And then we get back to the hotel and I go, bye fuckers, and I don't remember anything after that. And I woke up in a cleaner's cupboard down the street the next morning when the cleaner opened up the door and I was like, bright lights! And so I had to like stand outside while the Spanish police came and looked at my ID. I was like, oh, and then I figured out how to get back to my hotel up the street.
Wow. I bet Elton John's bench was fragrant. That was great, by the way.
Still not funny. Gotta work on that.
I mean, look, comedy's hard, and you're a handsome guy, you've got some charisma. God doesn't give with both hands. You can't have everything. I think if I had your symmetry, I would be funny. So fuck you. You got a lot going on for you there, young man. No, it's a good story. I feel your pain as you're telling these things. You're the embodiment of my inner voices all the time. I've just managed to quell that. Your outer voice is my inner voice, but I'm better holding it down. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't necessarily win over an audience to talk about a smelly vagina. I found, but that's the kind of thing you don't know right away. You have to learn it. You take it out for a try. If you have any, if you were to come back, maybe don't do any racist material either. And I find that but good effort. 9 million points.
There you go. Annie Corson.
9 million. No, there's not really points.
Yeah, I really want to hear more about the Mormon stuff, I must say. I'm very interested in that.
That's what the memoir's about. Hey.
But Sandy, you have to say, there was something I missed at the ending about the infection. Explain that to me again. What happened?
Well, it was a story ending in pathos, which is not a good idea, which was a longing for this connection with this woman that I really liked. And because of my judgmental nature to the random hookup we had, it was not able to come to fruition. And I found out from coworkers that we were both bummed about it, but both misread the situation.
Okay. There was something else I didn't understand. You really like this woman. This is somebody you were interested in. You were going down on her.
No, this is not the one you liked.
Yes.
Oh, the one.
No, that's the one. Yeah, that one.
The one.
Oh, you're right.
It was the one. So
she was like down here.
No, just a minute. But you had sex with her, and I guess the looking up into her VJ, and
Let's watch the language.
but then you had to run to the laundromat because you were expecting another woman later.
Yes.
Now, I'm not going to judge, but there's something in there that I'm not putting together. Why would you want to stay with a woman that you liked?
Because she smelled.
Well, the novelty of sex had now worn off, and so I had double booked, and I was just like, I was thinking, I have the body of a 32-year-old with the mind of a 14-year-old.
Yeah. All right. Well, this was a
All
lot
right,
of fun.
I will accept it.
Jeannie Wright. Jeannie Wright. Wow, that was something else. I know a lot about that young man.
I feel like we got 4 stories in one.
I felt we got a lot of stories in one. Let's put my hand in the story smash.
He's interesting though.
He didn't even throw up behind a couch.
Yeah, all right, you guys, come to the stage right now. It's the very talented Mike Pye. Mike Pye.
Spin that wheel.
It's been brought to you by Ape Shit. You gotta go something. Go Ape Shit.
Ooh, school days.
School days. So I'm from Philadelphia, and I grew up in a time I was going to high school in the late 80s. So my favorite thing to do was to cut school. So we used to cut school and go downtown, right? Explore the city. And I had a good friend, Mark, and he had a 78 Cordova. Any of you remember the Cordova? It was a big tank of a car. And we used to take that car and we used to drive downtown and explore downtown. Sometimes we'd go to the zoo. But our favorite thing to do was to heckle prostitutes. Just from the car, we didn't get out, we would just yell random stuff. Look, it was the late 80s. It was acceptable behavior in the late 80s. If you were from Philadelphia, that was like we were the good kids. That's the crazy part. We were the good kids. We didn't do drugs, we didn't steal. So we're heckling one day, and one of the ladies had had enough, and she takes a full bottle of Snapple iced tea. And if you remember back then, they were in glass bottles.
Right.
And she just launches it at the car, and it just shatters everywhere. Thank God it was a Cordova, because it did 0 damage to the car. We were covered in iced tea. And then we went to Denny's.
What did you have at Denny's?
What do I normally get? The Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity.
Sure.
With a side of steak, because I was bodybuilding back then. I would often have steak on me at any given time. I have some steak in the car for after the show. There's a lot of protein eating when you're lifting a lot of weights.
All right, look at
Don't
that.
I know it?
157. That was a great score. Danny Zucker.
I think that it's still, unfortunately, probably acceptable today in Philly. I'm from Jersey, and we were horrible, but it was like, at least we're not Philly.
Right.
That was how it was. Every time, I think, like, if they do make a Stretch Armstrong movie, you should definitely submit. You just have the look of the Stretch Armstrong now. Or, like, a dark rebooting of the Flintstones, and you could be adult Bam Bam, I think.
My favorite character.
Of course, Bam Bam. No, it's a good story. I don't want to go too deep into prostitute heckling, although I'm curious. I'm curious about it, but I don't want to show my curiosity when it's being recorded. So, 9 million points. You're doing a great job.
All right, Annie Corson.
Okay, I want to know, do you have any kids?
I do.
So if one of you, is this working? Is this
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So if you have a son, and your son, and you said, so what'd you do today? Well, I got together with a bunch of guys, we drove downtown, we made fun of prostitutes. What would you now, at your age, say to your son?
Great question.
Honestly, my son wouldn't do anything like that. He's the sweetest, nicest kid.
But you're a sweet, but you were sweet, nice kids.
Yeah, I really didn't do much of the heckling, to be honest. It was my friend Christian. He was actually the funny one in the crew. So.
Yeah, right. Now he's backtracking.
Is he here? Can we get him?
No, he's not here. He's in Philadelphia.
You know, I'm very old. How old am I? I'm 86. I am your mom. Oh, so proud of
Lost so much
you. I'm very old and I still do not understand men. I don't understand the first thing about them. So all these stories like the previous, and I see that you're a nice guy. I mean, that's clear. I can, right? But the idea, well, what are we gonna do fun today? Let's go down and make fun of prostitutes. It's like, what would be the woman equivalent of that, right?
Yeah.
What are we gonna do? Let's go make fun of, what?
Firemen?
Well, I was just gonna say firemen. But I would never, it's just, I do not understand men, so I cannot judge this story, because I don't understand it. Maybe one day, when I hit 100, maybe I'll understand that.
All right, Blaine.
What's a good prostitute heckle? Would that be like, don't quit your night job? Is that kind of I don't come down to where you work and slap many dicks out of your mouth, which is the standard kind of thing. Which is what you say to an accountant. Not that accountants blow a lot of people. You're from Philadelphia. What's your favorite tasty cake?
I like the crimpet.
I knew you were going to say crimpets. And you have the crimpets with steak, right?
Yes. Yes. Side steak. Yes.
Butterscotch and steak. How long have you been like a weightlifter guy?
Since 1986.
Oh, so what? When you're out of high school, or you're still in high school?
I was in high school, yeah, when I started.
Okay, and why did you start lifting weights? Was it to beat up prostitutes, or try to Christian what for? Or
No, it was quite the opposite. This is a way to try and not get my ass kicked as a kid growing up in Philly. I took the subway to school every day, so
That makes sense.
yeah.
So you ate fresh.
As a 13-year-old.
This is a bad Subway joke. Sorry, I have Tourette's. That's awesome. I didn't get into bodybuilding. I got into body teardown. And, I would get out of diffuse situations by trying to be funny, and got the shit kicked out of me. Anyway, great story.
Thank you.
Say hi to the Cordova for me.
Mike Pye, thank you. Great job, Mike Pye. All right, you guys, coming up right now to tell a true 2-minute story is, oh wait, it says audience member, but we already heard from you. Okay, we're going back in the bucket. Oh, look there, it's Debbie Bradshaw. All right, let's go, Debbie, part 2.
Wheel. Go get him, Debbie.
It's been brought to you by Lysol Wipes. A great way to wipe Lysol on things. Lysol Wipes.
Oh, Debbie landed on audience. Well, this is the very exciting point of the game where you guys can call out your favorite story suggestions, and our expert judges will choose one to be the topic for the contestant. What do you guys want to hear over here?
Going to the celebration.
The gym or celebration? What about in here?
Heckling prostitutes.
Prostitutes.
Best TVs. 4B movement.
TV. Best TV?
No, STDs.
STDs.
Fathers.
Fathers.
Worst holiday ever.
Worst holiday.
Oh.
Ted Drews.
4B movement.
Weird.
Worst job ever.
Nihilism.
Nihilism.
Any of those appeal to you? I'll make it easy for you.
Yeah, how about Holly Weird?
Well, no, hang on. That's already on the wheel.
Yeah,
She said,
yeah, they shouldn't have done that.
Well, she's a liar.
They're
We don't know.
going to be taken out. Right?
get out of here. Okay.
Here come the suggestions. What do you guys want to hear?
Hospitals.
Hospitals.
Food poisoning.
4B movement.
Food poisoning. Parents. Parents.
Men are terrible.
Men are terrible. Divorce.
It's true.
Okay, how about food poisoning?
Oh, good.
Food poisoning. I
Here
like
we
it. Give
go.
her a round of applause. Come on, you guys. Good story. This is not easy.
Okay, so it was my first year of marriage, and I decided to cook chicken for my husband and I. You know where this is going. And I was really excited because we got all of the new cookware from, we had registered, and I got this new cookware. So I was like, oh, honey, I'm gonna make us some chicken. I'm gonna put some honey mustard on it. And he said, great. So I put honey mustard on it, and I thought I cooked it, but I didn't care, and it tasted fine. I thought I cooked it at 350. And so anyway, then we went to go see a movie that night. And as we were seeing a movie, I just started, like, he looked fine, and I started to feel like the world was spinning. And I just was like, I think I don't feel good. And he says, okay. So I went to the bathroom and I started throwing up. And then, and I came back and I said to him, I don't feel good. And he said, well, do you want to go? And I said, I think we should go. And so we did. We went home, and then I basically just shit and threw up the whole night. It was horrible, but he was such a good husband, and he got me Gatorade and 7-Up and took care of me for a few days, and it knocked me out. And I have been very, very careful about making chicken since then. It's so dry. If you ever want any chicken from my house. In fact, I actually made it yesterday. I made barbecue chicken. And I think it was so dry, you left it out and you could use it as a doorstop. It doesn't matter, but that's how I'm making it. So we just order out chicken or get rotisserie. That's probably the better at Costco. Or any other places. I like chicken. I also like chicken from any other place that you can get. Whole Foods has a great chicken.
Debbie Bradshaw! Annie Corson, Annie!
Well, here's the thing about chickens. My husband and I went for the first time. We had resisted it for many years. We went to Costco.
Yeah.
You know about Costco's chicken?
No.
You don't know that Costco? Who does know?
I know. Yeah, you get $5.
It's $5 for a huge roast chicken. So we went to Costco. We got 2 computers, hearing aids, and a roast chicken.
Sounds hot.
The thing is, I thought you were what?
We get it. You're old. We get it.
But I have an audience. When it went to audience, I have to tell you that. Can I tell a very short audience story? My husband Benny is Danish, and he was one of the producers of one of the greatest movies ever made called Babette's Feast. And it turns out that Babette's Feast is Pope Francis's, whom we happen to love, favorite movie. And a couple of years ago, we realized we were going to Rome. And I was joking around with some friends, and I said, maybe we could get an audience with the Pope. And my friend, who's Catholic, said, let me look into that. And so he contacted, there actually is a cultural affairs liaison in the Vatican. And here's the thing. Betty and I were only going to be in Rome for 2 days. And I don't think you can say to the Vatican, we'll be there for 2 days. We can see the Pope on, Thursday at 3. And also, I was thinking, number 1, what do you wear? And number 2, what do you bring? Do you bring a cake? Do you bring bagel? You know what I mean? And so it didn't happen. But I was this close to having an audience with the Pope. And you know something? I think we would have gotten along. And maybe I should have brought him a chicken.
Yeah. All right, Blanca Patch.
That was great. I love all these audience stories. On the 31st of last year, 2024, it seems like a million years ago, we were flying back from New York. My wife and son and I had gone to New York to see Fish at Madison Square Garden. Not a big Fish head, but it was nice. I liked it. A good vibe. We were in JFK for a couple hours, we ate, and we're coming into LAX, we're on our final descent, and I look over at my wife, and she is just gray and sweating. And she had been fine up until then, but she looks at me, she was almost ready to cry. And she goes into the bathroom and just loudly vomiting. And everybody is like, and I'm like, I'm not with her. And then we landed, and we rush out, and she goes into the bathroom at the airport at LAX, and she's vomiting in the airport. And then we get on the shuttle, she holds us together, we get to the parking lot, she's throwing up in the parking lot. I had a garbage bag in my car, she was puking in the garbage bag the whole way home. And we're like, trying to be cool, obviously, it's, And she traced it back to tomato soup at the Soho Bistro in JFK. And she was like, oh, the tomato soup, was there something weird, it was tangy? And then she got the cookie at the end of the flight. The cookie was like, activate! And she was out for 3 days with just both ends, just Old Faithfuling out of both ends. And I did a podcast, Never Not Funny, with Jimmy Pardo. And Jimmy Pardo, his wife was on the same flight. Sorry if I'm going on. His wife was on the same flight, and we walked off the plane, and I saw Jimmy Pardo, our eyes locked, but it was like, my wife is throwing up, I can't even compute. So we leave, and Jimmy goes, I gotta ask, was your wife okay? Was she all right getting off the plane? I said, yeah, she had food poisoning, I tell the story. And then somebody listened to it online and contacted me on Blue Sky and said, my wife just got sick at the Soho Bistro at JFK 3 days ago. Wow. So my wife, Borat voice, she gave that guy the number of the manager and said, call this fucking guy and tell him to clean his kitchen.
Wow. That's right.
Anyway, that was great. I'm sorry you got sick. But it's a great story, and I love the way you stretched at the end. That was fucking great.
I didn't even notice.
Now, I'm just wondering, so there seems to be a theme here this evening of vomit and diarrhea and smelly ginas. And so I'm just...
That's Story Smash!
And misshapen balls.
But ball blisters and vomiting behind you.
Danny, what'd you think about
I'm going to get into it. It was great. I have so many disgusting stories. I'm going to spare everybody because I have been... Real quick, one thing. I had the worst thing. It was so bad they wanted to do like a scan of me because they thought that I had damage. I was like, I couldn't stop puking. And anyway, the tech is there and I say, look, I'm sorry, I don't know if I can sit still. It's like, hey, don't worry, it's going to be fine. And I shit myself in the MRI machine. And the part of the story that I really love, though, is like, I go to him and I'm like, it's the most humiliating thing in the world. So I go to the tech guy and it was like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sure, like, trying to do my charming thing. And he did not let me off the hook. Because he was like, oh, it's fine. And like, knowing that when I left, this was the rest of his afternoon. So, that's a shame. So anyway, I give you all the story. I shit out 1,000,000 points.
David Bradshaw? Well. That was a very exciting round. And now
I thought it was kind of shitty, to be honest.
Our judges have a very difficult task of choosing 2 storytellers to go into the 3rd round to tell a true 3-minute story. So you guys take these 4 names and start thinking about it. We're going to put 1 minute on the clock. And I want to remind you that the winner of tonight's game gets my homemade chocolate chip cookies and a brand new good-looking hat. It says Story Smash. And this fine hat is available at the intermission coming up for only $20. Come on up. You can spin the Story Smash swag wheel of truth, and you might win a cookie or a pen or a hat. Anything could happen. So this is the very exciting time. Oh, I will say this before we go to those guys. This show right now that you're listening to will be up on the Storyworthy podcast this Tuesday. Storyworthy podcast. I've been podcasting you guys for 15 years. 15 years. I have made hundreds of dollars. Hundreds of. So anyway, and guess what? Story Smash will be back right here on Saturday, April 5th. Mark the calendar, Saturday, April 5th. And now, Danny, we've got to the minute. And have you chosen 2 people to go on?
We have, and it's ugly, frankly.
It's ugly.
Between us, yeah.
I think they were all great. They should all get a round of applause.
Yeah. Honestly, 3 of the 4 of them were just fantastic.
Yeah, it happens. But before we go on to find out who's going on to the 3rd round, we need to
We got to take that intermission.
take that intermission. We'll see you guys in 10 minutes. Come on, I buy a hat.
A true 10.
Come on. All right, we're just going to wait for Danny Cooper to come up, and we're going to begin the 3rd round of Story Smash. It's very exciting. I have in my left hand a non-alcoholic beer, because that's how I roll. Saturday night, non-alcoholic beer. Hey, see him. Oh, there he is.
I asked you a
Danny
question.
Great, okay.
Everybody will want one.
Now, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I stopped drinking almost 2 years ago. Yeah, I know. It's very exciting. And sometimes I notice things like, oh, there's more room in the refrigerator, you know? There's actually less recycling to take outside. And look at that, I haven't shit my pants all day. So,
I'm 4 years this month.
oh yes, that's amazing. All right, you guys, everybody have a seat. We couldn't be more excited to start the third round to hear true 3-minute stories. Danny, was this a difficult decision?
I got it set.
It actually really was.
Try it again.
Yeah, this one was actually hard. Sometimes we make jokes, but this one was actually a hard one. I can make a case for everybody who came up to be in the finals.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And Annie, did you think this was a difficult decision?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and Blaine?
It was basically came down to who Danny wanted to have sex with.
Interesting. It often comes down to that.
Yes, brace yourself, guys.
All right, you guys, this is going to be a contestant coming up. We're going to give him a lot of love. This person is telling a true 3-minute story. Put your hands together for Mike Pye. Mike Pye, come on. Let's tell him what to do.
It's been brought to you by KY Jelly. Just what you need to funk Kentucky.
School days. Did you already land on that?
Yeah.
Spin that wheel again.
That's been brought to you by Monster Energy Cat Chow. Chow, 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 you fucking pussy.
Oh, look at that. You landed on free. So, Mike, you can choose any topic on the wheel. Tell us what you're going to choose.
Paul Kossoff.
Pick ghost stories.
Ooh, ghost stories. That's exciting. Whenever you're ready.
So I was in high school and we're hanging out at my house with a group of friends. And as you often do, you just get into talking about ghost stories. Like, do you believe in ghosts? Do you believe in ghosts? What do you think they are? Et cetera, et cetera. And I say, well, actually the house we're sitting in is haunted by ghosts. And everyone kind of freezes. And I go, well, they're cat ghosts. My brother turns pale white. We've never talked about this. And he goes, you've seen them too? And I go, yeah, where have you seen them? So we're discussing, I seen a red cat, going around the hallway. I saw a kitten pop out of a box in our basement. Yeah. So everyone's kind of freaked out by that. And of course, going from ghost stories, we bust out a Ouija board. So we start playing with the Ouija board. And we figure, let's summon some of the spirits. Because it turns out the house I grew up in, before my parents bought it, was owned by the neighborhood cat lady. No. She had so many cats that my parents had to seal the floors 7 times to get all the cat smell out of the house. Yeah. So we were playing with the Ouija board, and they start, saying, are there any spirits present? And you're doing the Ouija thing, and it goes to yes, right? Exactly. And they go, well, if there's any spirits here, show yourself right now. Give us a sign that you're here. So I decided in that moment, I said, hey, I'm going to run to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
So I run to the bathroom, and we're in the basement, so I go up to the top of the stairs, and as I get to the top of the stairs, I hear screaming and yelling from the basement, oh my God, and about 20 kids come running up the stairs, freaking out. They're like, oh my God, it was a sign. And they said that the lights had flickered, while they were in the basement. And what they all forgot was that there was a light switch at the top of the stairs. So when I got to the top of the stairs, I hit the light switch, and everyone freaked out and ran up to the top of the stairs. So then I confessed, and we all laughed. And then I'm talking to my brother about the cat ghost, and he said he had an experience where, because he actually lived in the basement. He was older than me, so I took our bedroom. We had a 2-bedroom house, and he lived in the basement. And he said he had come downstairs once, and he never made his bed, so there's just a pile of blanket on his bed, and he just flops on the bed, and from under the blanket he feels something squirming. And he jumps up, pulls the blanket, and there's nothing there.
Bye, let him hear it. Look at the time, exactly 3 minutes. Play the patch.
That was great. And have you seen cats there since?
I saw them the whole time we lived there. Yeah, just randomly, you'd walk into a room and you'd see like a cat curling around the doorway.
Did you have-
and then you'd like kind of check, and they'd be gone.
And then you'd eat them.
Yes.
Now, did you have real cats or just ghost
No,
cats?
we didn't have cats at all.
Did you have a litter box?
No.
Did you ever bring other animals into the house to see if they freaked out?
We had dogs at one point, and they didn't freak out.
Oh, okay. So it's bullshit. Yeah, dogs are notoriously bad at spotting stuff. That's awesome. I was just looking at Queen Mary last weekend. It was full of ghosts. Absolutely chock full of ghosts. But no cats. But it does smell like pee. So yeah. Hey, that was a great story. Thanks for scaring me. I gotta.
All right, Danny.
Go cats. It was look. It was okay. The story. I felt like you were throwing in some details I didn't need. It felt like you were building to something in that basement story. Like, we're gonna get to the basement and it's gonna be there, and then suddenly we're just like, we've switched movies and now it's your brother on a bed and nothing under there. So I would put a little more cohesion into it, but you tell a story well. So you kept me interested till the end. Much like Game of Thrones. I was very interested till the end of Game of Thrones. And then I was like, well, that's a colossal fuck you. Not something I would say to you because you could break me in half. But if you were a smaller man, I would have been much meaner. But you kept me interested. A bunch of points.
That's great. All right, Annie.
Well, here's the thing. I don't really believe in ghosts. But somehow, and so, I'm hearing your story and I'm thinking, well, there were just cats that came off the street, or the kids, or you were all stoned and you were mad, But then at the end, when there's something wiggling in a bed and there's nothing there, that got me a little scared. So I thought that ending was pretty effective. Thank you for that.
It proves that there is life after death.
Or his brother who never made his bed. It was dirty. There was something growing in there.
All right, Mike Pye, let him hear it. Mike Pye. Well, this is very exciting. There's only one more name in the story smash can of truth, and this is going to be the last story of the night, you guys. Thanks so much again for coming out. As always, we'll see you back here on April 5th, Saturday, April 5th. We'll be right back here. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the very talented CM Goro! Alright, you guys, let's tell them what to do! Right on!
It's been brought to you by Chewy Cheetos and Flamin' Hot Chewy Cheetos. Chew the heat! Chewy Cheetos.
Mom.
My mother was an elementary school teacher, a 4th grade elementary school teacher for about 35 plus years. What she was not was a doctor. We lived very cheaply, and anytime anything would go wrong, my mother became the doctor, and she would say, this is what you need to do with whatever this illness was. When I was 13 years old, I had found an issue with my big toe. I didn't know what it was, and I got kind of scared. My big toe really, really hurt. There was something about around the outsides of the big toe. This is way before the internet. But what we did have inside the house was a giant, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but the Mayo Family Clinic book. It was this giant thing that we had. And in there were a lot of photographs of any kind of illness that you could come up with. And so that's what I would go to. I was afraid of my mom find out. So I, at 13 years old, was going to be my own doctor. Learned from my mom, I guess. So I went through and looking through this book, trying to find any kind of thing having to do with big toes. There's nothing to do with big toes in the Mayo Family Clinic book, I found out. Well, my mom came in and one time to see me looking through it. And moms kind of know when their kid is kind of going, you know, there's something up. What are you looking at that for? I was just interested to look through the pictures, I said. And she knew it was not right. I was making that up. She hounded me. She was on me so much that eventually I told her, there's something wrong with my big toe.
Oh.
So I showed her. My mom was a good 4th grade teacher. She was not a good doctor. She thought, because my toe was giant and red, that there was a worm inside of my foot. School had, 7th grade had just ended. Summer was about to happen. In the summer, it's really hot out. I was wearing sandals in the summer. She thought that there was a worm in my foot, so what I had to do was wear a piece of raw bacon over my toe, and she taped it up.
Oh my God.
There wasn't a worm inside my foot. And it went on for the entire summer. I'm going out with friends, not telling them under my sock I'm wearing a piece of raw bacon. I finally went to the podiatrist. I now know what a podiatrist is. And they found it was just an ingrown toenail. And so they wrapped it up with a big giant blue ball, and everyone made fun of me and called me Blueberry Toes.
Wow. All right, CM Portal. One second. Great time. Danny Zucker.
Holy shit, that's a good story. You had a kind of a TLT on your toe there. I was looking for any bacon fun. It's late, guys. No, that's amazing. I would also point out that were it to be a worm toe, the famous worm toe that I think got into RFK's brain. But if you had I don't think bacon would necessarily have helped that situation. It seems like bacon on its own might contain worms if it's uncooked. Like it's a way to get. Maybe she misremembered that. How to get worms into a toe. Possible?
But the worm is coming out to get the bacon.
Oh, and as we know,
It's
worms
fishing.
are crazy for bacon.
That's right.
After a night when bacon is coming down from the sky, all the worms are out.
Yeah, that's true.
No, it's a great story. You're a good storyteller. You're really fucking weird. I mean that as a compliment. No, truly. I understand. You're like a total weirdo, which is like awesome, and stay weird, and good story, $1 billion points.
All right, Annie.
You know, I have to say, first of all, about all the contestants tonight, when they spin that wheel and it comes on a subject, don't you all play this game? Well, what would I do? What story would I tell if I hit it? Is that good? Yeah. And I go blank. I go absolutely blank. And these guys he just got up. Huh?
No, I'm sorry.
And he just got up and told this very polished, very well written story with a beginning and a middle and an end, just like that. I think just that alone deserves some recognition. The weird thing about your story is I've been thinking a lot about the weird spam messages that you get, and I get one frequently. I get a spam, and I'm not making this up. This spam message says, Dr. Marlene, which of course gives you a lot of confidence to begin with, right? Dr. Marlene.
A woman doctor.
Dr. Marlene will tell you how bacon can cure nerve pain. And I get this message every other day. So maybe your mom was a fan of Dr. Marlene. because there seems to be something out there about bacon being a curative. And I will say, bacon does make most things in life better. You know, I would accept that. But great story. You're a great accomplished.
All right. Blaine?
Now I don't feel so weird about having the bacon around my balls. mostly just a comfort thing. I wear my wife's bacon at work. I thought that was a great story. The ingrown toenail, I've had an ingrown toenail. I know how weird it can be. It feels like you've got something in there. How old were you when that happened?
13.
13. And your mom was a 4th grade teacher for 35 years?
Yes.
And she never graduated. That's a lot of tries. Tries at that gold ring. The Mayo Clinic, I'll just tell this really quick. I was performing, it was in 1991. I was doing a one-nighter in Rochester, Minnesota, home of the Mayo Clinic. It was me and Patton Oswalt. We had driven out there. And
Never heard of him.
Yeah, never heard of him. We were both, it was just the worst night. We were both eating it with a knife and fork. It was a dunking booth for Canadians. They hated us. And the crowd just like, grumbling. They hated me so much. But I thought it was cool because the Mayo Clinic is in Rochester, Minnesota. And I was very impressed with that. And so they weren't listening to any of my jokes. They weren't laughing at anything. And so finally I said, anyway, I'm really excited to be here because this is where the Mayo Clinic is. And a guy in the back says, "Don't you talk shit about the Mayo Clinic!" And then they started booing me. Anyway, my ballworms are tingling. Just thinking about it. Anyway, hey, great story. Good job.
Wow. All right, now you guys have the very exciting and difficult task of choosing one person to take home the Story Smash Hat of Truth and also all of the chocolate chip cookies.
By the
way, this can't be easy. What?
Can I just say, round of applause for all the storytellers. They were all fantastic. And Denny, of course, so excited. It didn't happen, but it was great. Wonderful audience. Thank you for coming out.
Wonderful audience.
And Christine Blackburn.
Thank you so much. Mike Pye, CM Gorham, have you guys already made your decision?
Yeah, I mean, we should act like it was harder, but...
Yeah, well, was it hard for you, Annie?
Yes.
What should I say?
Just say it was really hard.
Okay.
It was really hard.
You guys don't forget, Story Smash hats are on sale after the show. We'll also be hanging out on the deck. Annie, go ahead and get the microphone and tell us who is going home with all the cookies and the Story Smash Hat of Truth.
The winner is...
Moonlight.
Charles Manson.
I am Christopher Titus of the Titus Podcast.
I am Rachel.
And I'm Ken Highland, a.k.a. The Highlander.
When the rest of the world is screaming insanity, we scream sanity. We do a satire, comedy, news, and events podcast.
First and foremost, funny first.
Whatever's happening in the world, if you want to hear it in a way that doesn't rip your soul out, we'll make you laugh with it. At the end of the day, we just scream sanity. That's what we do.
Can't we just talk sanity? Because
you have to scream sanity. So
nobody's going to hear it.
So tired of you guys screaming.
I talk stupidity.
Well, that's true.
The Titus Podcast on all major streaming platforms, YouTube, and at ChristopherTitus.com. Titus Podcast. It's time to scream sanity.